to the 2020 Empowerment Conference. Hello from the exec team.
My name is Josh Foster, co-founder and CEO.
And I'm Sharon Pearson, co-founder and CTO.
And my name is Marquita Amwa, the editor-in-chief. We're excited to share this dynamic panel with you today.
Please feel free to take notes and join us in the live breakout room to debrief after the panel concludes. Hi everyone, thank you very much for joining us for this next panel for the Empowerment 2020 conference. We have a really awesome track today with our leadership track. We have two great panelists from different backgrounds and different businesses that they run, but they all come back to the idea of leadership. So we're looking forward to being able to dive into this. We're going to start off with some brief introductions. Derek, could you introduce yourself, please?
And my name is Derek Scott. I am a gym owner of Fit Body Huntington Beach. I'm also a personal trainer and a fitness coach at the gym. I've been around fitness now for really all my life, but in the fitness industry, I've been around it for 11 years as a certified personal trainer, fitness coach, nutritionist, and overall health enthusiast. So this has pretty much been my whole life and what I'm currently doing for the rest of my life to help other people's life.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, how's everyone doing? So my name is Seun Phillips. I'm with a club called My Dream Big Club. And what we do is we help aspiring entrepreneurs as well as entrepreneurs to dream big and to help them in starting off their business endeavors. So background wise, this is my third business endeavor and really looking to inspire people to tap into their fullest potential.
Awesome. Thank you both. We appreciate having you here. So we're going to dive right into getting to know more about your journey. So Seun and Derek, what would you say your lead origin stories are? Basically, where do the roots of your leadership begin? Can you point that back to any time in your life or just something that kind of you can say, this is where I knew I wanted to become a leader?
With me, I think leadership kind of fell in my lap. I played sports my whole life. So I played baseball throughout my life. I played college. I even had the opportunity to play pro. And I was always kind of like a perfectionist. So people used to always come to me and ask me for advice and why do I do this and what makes me better at this. And if I felt like people were always asking me like, just questions on different things. So that led me to be team captains of most of my teams. So therefore, like I had to be a leader and I was like kind of fell in my lap, but at the same time, I like the responsibility of it. So my whole leadership background comes from sports and how to run a team and how to be a part of a team and how to take information like from a team. So my whole leadership background goes back to high school and college and being a professional athlete.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so sports is interesting. So connected to what Derek said, but I obviously was not as D1 material like he sounds like he was, and I wasn't going to go pro. But I think for me, it was more connected to the first business I started called Project Sincere. And the beauty of that was that coming out from the corporate world and just diving in with the other co-founders, it was the opportunity that you had to actually lead and start and have a vision and be able to inspire other people. So that really gave me the holistic viewpoint on what leadership was all about. And as that continued to grow, you started to understand that with leadership, like you're hiring, you're firing, you're training, you're developing, you're going out for business. And it just kind of gave me not only just about entrepreneurship, but just like what a true leader is supposed to be.
Yeah, that's good. I think that what's really interesting is that a lot of times you see that you don't really, kind of like what Derek was saying, you don't really choose leadership. It kind of comes to you just by the traits that you have, just by your desire and your passion to lead people, to be able to help develop them in whatever way that is. And so it's just really interesting to think about it in that way.
Yeah.
So I think that as we get deeper and trying to figure out a little bit more about your stories, it's interesting that when you think about leadership, you know that it can come in so many different forms. Your leadership is excuse me, your leadership, Derek, is different than Seun's leadership, and but it is leadership. And the biggest foundation that I think that kind of ties it together is that we use our life experiences to be able to develop through the way that we've learned or through the way that we think is the best way to develop. And so starting off with you, Derek, how have
Real
you?
quick though, Josh, like from what you just said though, right?
Yeah.
How each of our leadership styles are different. And I think for people, you really have to tap into, you know, like your leadership style and the way that you're approaching it. There's not a cookie cut way, right?
Yeah.
So you're able to reach people in different ways, and different people need different type of motivation, right? Some people are self-motivated and some people just need vision, right? And I think as a leader, which is a great point that you just mentioned, is that you have to be able to identify what is it and which angle you're going to help somebody in their growing process. So that's a very good point.
That's a good point. I like that. I think on that, I do have a separate question now. I know for both of you, you've had to lead and train separate people in different things. Like for you, Seun, is through the different jobs that you've had, through the different ventures that you started. There's been people with different personalities, and Derek, I'm sure every single person that comes through your gym that wants to be trained has to be trained in a different way. How are you able to pick up on that and be able to naturally lead that person?
Well, with me, it kind of goes back to sports with me. Everything kind of goes back to sports to me. I feel like you have a coach and an assistant coach, and you have a team of, you play football, so it's 54 people on the roster. And then with baseball, like 16 people on the roster. So with my gym, I have like 75 to 80 members that all have ultimately the same goal as a fitness, but I got to reach them a different way. One person is getting ready for the summer, the next person just had a baby, the next person is getting ready for a wedding. So it's really simple to me as in just listening. They're telling me what they want, but they don't know how to get it. So once they tell me what they want, I put the program together, and then I remind them why they're here. Like, you got that wedding coming up, trying to get that baby weight off, or your 40th birthday is coming. So I kind of remind them why they're here, why they're hustling, why they're trying to get better. So it goes like, you're telling me what you want. Now you got to tell you back and show you how to get it. And then it seems like my idea, not like that, but it kind of helps them, help me help them.
Yeah.
I love what you just said though, Derek, because I think one of the most important things is the listening component, right? Because you have to really understand what is it that people want, right? So to Derek's point, I mean, everybody's coming to the gym for a different reason, right? So he has to understand what is your reason, what is your why. Right? I think whether it's, whether you're at the gym, whether you're in corporate, whether you're an entrepreneur, understand that why is probably one of the most important things, because that's what's going to continue to drive you. And if you heard what he said, it's around being accountable and having that, being inspired, pretty much is what he said. So I think as a leader, right, you get people to understand the why comes with the vision, and then you inspire them to get there, right? Every time that there's a big task, big dream, it can be daunting at times, but then once you establish the why, you've established the goal, and you just kind of break it down into bite-sized pieces, and then each milestone, it gets someone to be more excited about what they're doing, and to get we're getting closer to the goal until finally you've reached it.
That's good. I think basically what I heard there is that to be a leader, you're basically a mirror. You're basically showing people what it is that they want to do, that they already know they have in them, but you're just being able to pull it out in the best way. I like that.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on that mirror statement, I had a mentor when I kind of first got into the whole physical world, and I wanted to like make it like my career in business. And he asked me, he was like, "Derek, where's your business card?" And you said mirror, right? So I'm like, "Oh, I don't have a business card." No, I do have a business card. So I showed him my business card, and he took it, he ripped it up. And I was like, "Why would you rip up my business card? You just asked me for it." And he told me, you're your business card. He said, at the end of the day, people look at you, and if you're in shape and you're taken care of and you're well groomed, they're not saying they want your life or want to be you, but they want to know how you stay that way. So like in a physical world, it's like, okay, they want somebody that looks fit. So you have to take care of yourself so they can believe that you can take care of them. So when you get that mirror, it kind of triggers that.
Lead them by example.
Yeah.
Yeah, and essentially, I mean, people do business with people that they like, right? So the very first step is like really being able, and you know, the whole being empathetic and really making the connection, right? At the end of the day, you need to make a connection with the people that you're working with, and I think in particular with what we're doing with My Dream Big Club, it's around being able to make that connection, but then getting people to tap into their fullest potential by getting them to realize what is it that they want to do, and then coaching them to do it, right? I mean, we all have this innate ability to do great things, right? Sometimes we need the reminder, sometimes we need it to be put in our face, sometimes we need some sort of guidance, but genuinely, I believe that we all have the ability to just do amazing things, right? And I think that's what we really are pushing to do.
I like that. That's a real good segue. I think directing it towards you, how do you feel that your experiences in the corporate and the nonprofit world before you started your different ventures leading to My Dream Big Club now, how do you feel like that prepared you, and how have you leveraged those experiences?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think when the first nonprofit experience was around Project Sincere, the first business, and I think in doing that is when I truly started to understand like what it means to love what you do, right? And doing things that are gratifying to your career. And that was a great experience in just learning about leadership, but then also learning about, you know, following a strong passion, strong desire, strong interest, figuring things out, right? I think with Project Sincere in the beginning, I mean, I didn't know what it took to actually, you know, start a business. I would watch things, but it's not the same as doing it.
Yeah.
And I think I've taken that experience, and then prior to that in the corporate world, it really provided me with the infrastructure, right? I worked at Motorola designing cell phones, and that was, you know, a Fortune 500 company, and being able to understand like this is how they operate. So that now when you're starting your business, you have a point of reference on what you want your business to do, and you pick up a lot of the things in the corporate world on how it should be structured, right? So I think that was just a great experience in being able to build something and to taking those you know, those lessons and then moving on to the next one. And then as I, you know, there's a difference between doing my own thing and being able to be underneath someone else's structure, but in doing both of them, you know, you're continuously learning, continuously refining, and getting better.
That's good. That's good. Derek, pretty similar question for you. I feel like there's definitely a business in sports, even as being an athlete. But then also, I know you had experience in the corporate world before you got deeper into your fitness journey as well. Was there anything, whether in sports or whether in your experiences in the corporate world, that kind of, I would say, prepared you to be able to run the business successfully the way you are now?
Yeah, actually, I would say it's a combination of both, because at the end of the day, like, we look at sports and we're like, oh, that's sports. They get to run up and down the court or run up and down the field and get paid for it. But that's the part we see. That's more of a corporate than AT&T. You know what I'm saying? Like, every stadium is a sponsor, AT&T Stadium, Staples Center, things like that. So while working in the corporate world, then playing the game on the field, that mix probably made me able to do the same thing here. Run a fitness, people like me to go in there and lift some weights. It's a lot more to do behind the scenes. It ain't just me going here and lift weights. It's marketing, it's hiring, it's firing. Like Sean said, it's having a great team around you. Like Lakers didn't win a championship because they had Shaq and Kobe. They also had Phil, which was the brains of Shaq and Kobe. So I can be like Phil, and then I got all these Shaq and Kobe that don't want to listen, but once they start to listen, they put the triangle together, we win. So me working in the corporate world for State Farm or AT&T, and then me playing in minor league baseball and me bringing that together, it's the same thing with my gym. It's a corporate part and it's a fun part. So I think the best of both of those worlds mixed with me, that's what was able to make me be able to do what I do today.
And that team component is very important, right? I mean, as a leader, right, it's really understanding the skill sets of the team that you put together, right? Mm-hmm. So that example, like whether it's sports or whether it's in the corporate world, is like different people have different interests and different people have different skill sets. And it's your job as a leader to really identify that and to bring that out of people. And as you do that, you start to kind of put together the different buckets on what they're supposed to be doing, and to have the maximum amount of impact that you can do, right? And I think as a leader, that's your responsibility to identify that and to bring that out, to really understand what is the best team and what are the best tasks that people should be doing to have the greatest impact.
Yep, exactly. And that's how you succeed, because as a leader, you get to kind of mold and put together your team. So just like if you put together the right team to do the right things and have the right outcome, you become successful. But you also have to know, like, this person is not for that job, and realize, okay, they can't do this, so I need to put them here or replace that person. So that's a good thing about a leader. You got to be able to be okay with that change too.
Right.
What I'm really noticing as both of you guys are talking about your businesses and leadership is it sounds like it's fun for you guys to do this. There is definitely a passion and like a desire where you want to do this in a way where you're really developing people, but it also looks fun. If just a curveball question, if you guys could pick one part of your business and you could only do that one part of it and you had to delegate the rest of it off to somebody else, what would it be?
I can start off. I think for me, in the very beginning, what we're doing is that consultation where a lot of people have these business ideas, you know, and all of us, right? Oh, I should do this, I should do this. And, you know, we know people and you're like, oh, you really can't do it. But for whatever reason, they're not getting over that hump of just starting. So I think for me, the greatest gratifying aspect is to get them started. So I would still want to be connected in a way where I just start the process, and then I'm able to connect them with the right resources to get them to finish it, or to get them to grow it, to 10x it, whatever it may be. But that personal connection and being able to inspire to just kind of get them over the first 2 steps of our program, that's what I would want to keep.
I like that. What about you, Derek?
To piggyback off what Sean said, I'm pretty much the same. I like the hands-on part of being a fitness coach. Like, the ownership is great, and marketing, all that business part that's all good. But to me, the glamour, what I get up to love is actually coaching, actually helping people, like, hands-on, taking them through their training, taking them through their fitness journey. With me, that I love. Like, no one likes getting up at 4, but I don't mind it, because if I know I got a client or a member or a class at 5 o'clock, because I know I'm about to help these amount of people. But if I have to get up at 4 to put a marketing program together, I'm like, I'll do that later, you know. So I love the hands-on part of my job. I love that part.
It's a good question what you asked too, because between the 2 of us, I mean, pretty much it's a interesting way of asking the question, like, you know, doing what you are passionate about if you weren't to get paid in a way, right?
Yeah.
So the things that we're saying, the things that we're doing, it feeds us and it fuels us, right? It gets us excited about the things that we're doing, and it's the things that we don't want to let go, because although we're having the impact, it naturally is a gift that we're able to you know, exuberate, but there's also, like, you know, it feeds us as well. It feeds our soul, it feeds our motivation and things that we're doing. So great question on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Real quick, what Sean said, he said, if you couldn't get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
That's how you know you love something, because no matter what I've ever done, like, if I was working in the corporate world, I would go to work after work, I would train my friends or train my my friends' kids for free at one point. And I realized that I'm at work all day for 8 hours a day, and I'm excited to go train someone for free. So when you can make it a business, it's like, oh, this is what I love to do. Yeah,
it's funny. I definitely connect on that really similarly in the sense where the hands-on with the people is really what makes you want to keep doing it and getting up in the morning and doing it. Like in both with Mint or in my architectural job, the part about it that I like is when I'm in front of people, being able to talk with them, hear about their stories, help them problem solve on the spot like that. Because it's one of those things where, like, yeah, it's nice sometimes to be able to zone out and just be in front of the computer, or to be able to knock out a marketing plan or a business plan just in your own zone. But that's not what makes you get up in the morning. It's like Derek said, you're not going to want to get up at 4 a.m. just to do that. Like, you know that if you do that, you have an outcome of being able to help somebody that I think is really, really important as a leader, because that'll continue to drive you even on the days where you're not feeling it.
Yep. Exactly.
It's good. I think a really interesting question to lead into next is kind of hearing about what you see your legacy to be. So if you could fast forward, let's say 30 years from now, and then kind of look back over the last 3 decades that passed by, and paint a picture of what your legacy has been over those 3 decades, what would that look like? Is it a specific person that you helped out? Is it a group of people that you helped out? Or is it even bigger, lofty goal that may not even be something you're doing yet?
With me, it would be a group of people I helped out. Like, I personally train kids that are 16 years old. And then I have group fitness classes with adults that are 40, 50 years old. So if I can look back in 30 years and that kid that's 16 is now 30 years and he's a retired soccer player, or he now has his degree, because I sit with these kids for an hour and train with them. They talk about school, they talk about their health, they talk about what they want to do. And a couple of the kids from Burner, they talk about school. A couple of the kids, they try to put school in the back. So to me, I'm now thrown into another leadership program. I got to let them know you have to have schooling to get to be a professional baseball player or soccer player. So if I can look back at 30 years and I've helped this kid become a professional soccer player, or help this kid realize that how important school is, and he has a degree, that to me is a part of my legacy.
Mm-hmm.
Or the lady that's 40 years old and she's fighting diabetes, she doesn't have diabetes anymore, and now she has kids that are in shape, so therefore she can broke a chain and they're into fitness.
Yeah.
So I look back and it's like, okay, cool. She's not, her health issues are gone, her kids are in shape, now their kids are in shape, so now they're understanding that fitness is not just a persona, it's not the way you look outside, it's also your inside. It helps you live longer. So with me, if I could look back 30 years and see that kid a professional or got a degree, she doesn't have diabetes anymore, just that would like build my legacy for me, along with my son being 32 at the time, and he's in shape, healthy, and doing all the right things also. So that would be my, like, how I would look back on my legacy.
That's beautiful.
Congrats on that 2-year-old, Derek, if I did my math correctly.
Yes, sir.
For me, so like, we have the focus on getting people started and reaching their fullest potential. So when I look back in 30 years, it's around that we've started some Fortune 500 companies, right? Where the person that thought that they couldn't do it, they didn't know how to start, they started, they went through our process, our program, and then now they've blown up, right? And what that's going to do, excuse me, what that's going to do is also going to provide us with the testimonies and the stories, so that they're going to be a great inspiration to other people that are looking to get started, right? So it's about helping to tell that story around, look at the same type of struggles, look what they've done, look what they've accomplished, and then it's done great things in society. And then the second part, that's another passion of mine, is around education. So really connecting that to education and being able to really impact people. And I have obviously a strong, keen interest to, the Black community around those two sectors. So really seeing great improvements in 30 years.
That's great. I think the two things that kind of, oh, go ahead. About to say something, Derek?
No, I just say I love that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I think that's something that tied both of those together that I picked up. One is that to be a good leader, you have to be a good server. There's no leadership without service, and both of what you were talking about is basically, to the core of it, serving others, which I think is really huge. And along with that, in serving others through your leadership, you're both looking to create generational changes, generational wealth, generational health, and that's huge. That is a real legacy, something that when you're long gone, whether or not anybody remembers your name, they remember the domino effect that you created, and that's huge.
Mm-hmm. Real hard, yeah.
Let's see. We have some time left. I'd like to throw some curveball questions, and one that's been a good one so far for some of our other panelists is, if you could choose one person, alive or dead, and you can do one project with with them? It could be like a project, a business, anything like that at all. Who would it be, and what would that project be? And it doesn't have to be related to your businesses. There's been people that have nothing to do with music talk about they want to be with a specific artist. Somebody said Tupac, somebody said Prince, and do a tour with them. Or so it could be fun. But who would that be, and what would that project be? The first person that comes to your head.
With me, if anyone knows me, they know my favorite person in the world is Ice Cube. Period. And I've met a lot of people in my life. I've been in a lot of rooms with a lot of big names, and I haven't had the chance to even meet this dude yet. So if it could be one person, it would be Ice Cube, and it wouldn't be nothing with fitness. I would literally want to pick his brain on, because I love movies, you know what I'm saying? So for him, he's a big entrepreneur person that I look up to, because he touched everything. Like literally touched everything. Like he came into the game as a rapper from Compton. He got a letter from the president that said you can't rap anymore. He wrote movies where they said he couldn't write movies. He started a basketball league when they said he couldn't do that. And this is all a black man from Compton, you know? So he didn't never know what the word no was. Like our generation knows Ice Cube as the rapper, but the generation right now, I think Ice Cube is an actor. Like he's touching different generations, doing different things. So I could just sit down with him, whether it be 10 minutes or a tour for 10 months, I'm good. I think it'd just broaden my horizon on how I think, because it's just somebody I've looked up to my whole life. So if you got that plug, Josh, go ahead and run me that.
I'll start flipping through that roll Rolodex and check.
All right.
Would there be like a specific thing that you would do with them, or like a business venture that you would start?
A movie.
Okay.
I would like to do a movie with him. That's a whole other passion I have. I'm actually a SAG, so I've done acting stuff before. So I would love to do a movie with him. Not Denzel, not Tom Cruise, Ice Cube. I'll do
It's like Derek had this answer like.
Yeah, he ready. Right? I'm gonna make sure we take a cut of just that answer, and we're just gonna send it to Ice Cube. We're gonna have everybody start tagging.
Everybody get me in, bro.
Hashtag get Derek to Ice Cube.
Yeah.
For me, I mean, when you asked that question, a couple things came to mind. I was just like, is it Musk, businessman, Obama? But I mean, I came down to just saying Nelson Mandela. I think just for him and what he did with apartheid was just phenomenal. Like that's the true definition of a leader, right? And I think when you think about just some of the things he says around like by overcoming fear through the courage, and he was just a very courageous man. And then there was strong emphasis also like on education and the power of education and what that can do for you for the future. So, whether you're, entrepreneurship, doing your own thing, or corporate world, or just even life, right? I think the essence of what he stood for around courage and around education and around just having a vision, right? Like the amount of vision that he had is phenomenal. So that's something that came to mind where I look up to those qualities that he had as an individual.
That's huge. I like that.
I like that.
It's good. It's funny. When you guys were talking about that, I've been kind of going through my head of who I would choose. Because I mean, the handful of times I've asked this question, I haven't really thought about it myself. And the first person I thought of was John Legend. Just as a musician, everybody knows that John Legend that is my dog right there. He's just a musician's musician. Just great music. And so it was just funny. Sing, play
Okay.
A little piano. But it's just funny. It's like one of those things. I was like, if I could just do a small, like in a jazz room, and just every week, just me and John Legend are just jamming out. Not even some big concert stage or something like that. We're just jamming out for whoever's in like the small little speakeasy. That would just feel like a dope vibe.
I already got this. I'm gonna have Derek. He's gonna make sure you stay fit. I'm gonna put you on some deals, and I'll just be the manager, man. We got our business, man.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, guys, yeah, thank you. This has been real good. I love the passion and the energy that comes through your leadership and you talk about it. Being able to see two Black men that are passionate about developing generations, just being able to lead and inspire. That's huge, especially now more than ever. So I definitely appreciate both of you for taking your time. If there's any closing thoughts you guys have, it could. We've had closing quotes, closing just ideas, gems based on the talk. And also if you guys want to plug in anything you have here, it could be an event coming up, a group training session, whatever that is that happens, feel free. This is definitely a platform we want you guys to be able to amplify your voices and your businesses.
Yeah, I think for myself, quick plug is around our package, like the 0 to 1 package. Like we really want to meet people where they haven't started or they don't know where to go with their business, help them get that idea, help them take that idea and to say, how can I get revenue from this? And then being able to market it, right, as a step 3 process. And then step 4 is getting that first sale, right? So that's that 0 to 1. And then the final step is just let's do it again and figure out what the process was and being able to replicate. So really looking to help people to pursue their big dreams, right? Hence my Dream Big Club. And just remember, all you that are out there, I know these are interesting times, but continue to push forward. There's a lot of opportunity that's out there, immense opportunity. People are still buying things, people are still hiring people, and you just have to look at the system, and things have been accelerated very quickly, but just stay positive, stay optimistic, stay determined in what you want to do, and you will accomplish that.
It's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, and with me, it's the same thing, man. It's like I believe in that failure is okay, because a lot of people believe that you can't fail at stuff, and I believe that failure is a lesson. And if you fail at something, you learn from it. And a lot of people don't take chances in nothing because they're scared to fail. Yeah. I failed at so much stuff in my life, and I feel that that's where I have to be at to where I am right now. I failed in different things, fitness and baseball, everything I'm passionate about. I failed it at some point in time. So I just like to tell people, like, don't be scared to take that leap of whatever it is in your own business, in your own venture, and in your own fitness, or trying something new. And if you fail at it, cool, you learn. You got a lesson from it, and you continue to move forward in a positive direction. You got to learn from those failures. Everything is not like Instagram makes you seem. That's not life. Life is life, and you got to fail at life to get better in life. So that's just my closing statement, man. I just feel like life is a lesson and a blessing, and just go forward and do what you love and be passionate behind it.
Awesome. Thank you. Those are two great gems to leave us with. We appreciate it. So we thank you both again. We thank you all for joining us and being able to check on to this EmpowerMint 2020 conference. And this was a great panel, and looking forward to be able to link it up, hit the conference page, and you'll be able to see their social media links if you want to follow what they're doing and check out their businesses. But thank you guys, and thank you everyone for joining us.